Hey, I'm Kevin McQuiston, and welcome to today's edition of the Cab Chronicles, Part 8. I was going to vent this morning about the cabs that I'm given. Once again, I kind of got the last cab in the garage, the bottom of the heap. And the upside is I had a nice conversation with one of the guys in the office who actually kind of went to bat for me with Nimi, the kid who's the sort of de facto manager. Nimi is married to one of the owner's daughters. He's the son-in-law of one of the owners. And it's got to be an untenable position. This is, I think, the first business situation he's ever been in where he's management. You've got 50 or 60 people that he has to manage, and it's not like a normal business. I mean, in large part, the cab industry is unlike anything elsewhere. It's made of degenerates and dilettantes and dorks, and there's no HR manual, there's no training, it's not a normal business in any way, shape, or form. It's tough, and I know he's under a lot of pressure, but he also really doesn't seem to get that I'm one of the best drivers that they have. Everybody else knows that. I know that his father-in-law knows that. I've been with the company for the most part for 8 years now. I never have a complaint. I keep the cabs clean. I don't beat them up. In approximately 320,000 miles of driving a cab, I've only had 2 accidents, and both times I was exonerated because people hit me head on in my lane when I had nowhere to bail out to. And I turn in my money, my lease. But lately all of us drivers have been struggling to turn in money. This is the week between Christmas and New Year's. It's actually the day before New Year's Eve today. And I made negative money on Monday. I actually made less than what I had to turn in, and kept like $20 for myself and gave them everything else. Yesterday was about the same. I kept like $40 for myself and turned in everything else. And I'm hoping today will be better. But it started out with me getting a crappy cab again. There's no fourth gear in this transmission, which means that the engine's revving the entire time and running hard and hot, and burning up gas at a huge rate. There's no stereo in here, so I'm sitting in a steel box for 12 hours in silence on a day when there is really no work. So, I probably got to worry about taking a hostage by the end of the day, but I feel fairly chill. I feel fairly chill because I got to help some people this morning. I was waiting for the train to go to work, and a woman experienced some vertigo, and the people at the train station panicked and called 911. And I'd been a pro ski patroller out in Colorado and gone through EMT training, and I did an assessment, and I calmed her down, and she was fine. It was just some vertigo, and then the paramedics showed up, and but she definitely was. I got a chance to help, and she calmed her down, and it was good. And then I was gonna give a ride to a dear friend of mine, Megan. Megan is a bartender at my home bar, Johnny Manana's. I get my mail forwarded there when I'm out of town, and Megan is one of those people. She's just, she's kind and good, and has a smile that lights up the room, and is a goddess, and just a beautiful person inside and out. And she needed a lift, and if you can't ask a friend with a cab for a lift, who can he ask? And I was happy to do it. And turned out she doesn't need a ride until later, so hopefully I get to see her later today. She's always fun to be around. And I like helping people. That's really kind of what I'm about. And I wish I knew what to do to help Nimi, the guy at work that kind of runs things, tries to run things. And I honestly have to believe that the best thing that could happen to this guy is for him to get fired, because I don't think he really wants to be at the cab company. It's got to be tough for him. It's a tough business. You don't have normal employees. You have, cab drivers. And he'd really like to be an actor. And he and I talked about a life in the arts and how hard it is. And you have to really, be committed. And you have to wake up burning for it. My dad really only gave me 2 pieces of advice ever that were worth a damn. He said, unless you wake up every day burning for it, it's too hard. And I don't know how he knew that, but somehow he did. And there's somebody yelling outside my cab. I don't know how he knew that, but he did. And it's absolutely true. You really have to want to pursue your craft and to try and make a living at it. There are people that can do it as a hobby. I haven't figured out how to do that, but you have. The other piece of advice he gave me was never sleep with anybody that has more problems than you do, which I always thought of as a guideline more than a rule. And you never really know until later. So I have a meeting later today with another cab company, actually with a town car company. And if it works out the way I think it's going to work out, I'm going to leave this company. I'm going to leave this company. There's no doubt about that. I'm tired of every day wondering if I'm going to have a cab or not. I'm tired of every day wondering how bad a cab I'm going to have. And luckily, there are people in the office who do realize that my worth to this company is more than the money I pay at the end of the shift, that my worth is in the fact that customers request me and that I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm going, and I'm always, decently dressed, and, I don't smell or urinate on myself, which seriously, we have drivers that have peed themselves on the job. And that I don't crash cabs, and I deserve a decent cab, decent working conditions, and not to be hassled on a daily basis. But that's not going to happen, not with the management that's in place, and not with the owners away most of the time. It's just not happening for me. So I'm going to leave as soon as I make arrangements. And, I'll probably come back someday. It happens. Once you drive for a cab company, you can kind of come and go as you want. And there's 3 or 4 cab companies in this area, and we all have driven for other ones from time to time. I've driven for 2 others from time to time. But I'm kind of frustrated by the lack of appreciation for my dedication. So I guess I am venting today, and I don't mean to. What I really hope to do is be of service to people, and that anybody that gets in my cab is in a better mood when they get out than when they got in. So I guess that's it for today's edition of the Cab Chronicles Part 8. I'm Kevin McQuiston. Laugh and flow.